Okay. Hi, folks. Hi again. It's been a good while since I made a YouTube last time, 2 weeks or so. I've been traveling. I was teaching in Birmingham, UK, and now I'm in Helsinki, Finland. The teachings here, the satsang that we had today on Sunday, 14th, just ended an hour ago. So I haven't done any videos. I was planning to make a teaching documentary again, but didn't feel like doing it the same way. I might tell my impressions of the teachings. We had a absolutely brilliant weekend retreat in UK a week ago, so I might talk about the things that were discussed and happened there later on another video. But in this video, I wanted to do something completely different, I guess you could say. And so this is about current events, and specifically current events in Europe, in EU. So I'm Finnish. I'm a how do you say? Not citizen, but my nationality is Finnish, and I live in Slovenia. So I'm from North Europe, but I live in, you could say, Central Europe, because Slovenia is there, right next to Italy and also below Austria. So it's not really Southern Europe, although for Finnish people, everything from Germany down is south because it's so high up and it's so cold up there. But I'm a EU citizen, and I've been teaching most of my teaching career, the past soon 18 years, have been in EU, in European countries, and in all over Europe, really. I have taught a lot in UK, in Britain, and then in Ireland, a little bit in Germany. I've led number of retreats in Switzerland, of course, many retreats in Slovenia, loads of retreats in Finland, some in Norway, and so on. In Greece, I have also taught. So I've taught here and there in EU, and I also have students all over EU. And so this YouTube is about current events. And I have thought about taking this direction in my YouTube a long while, actually. I have sometimes considered if I should not really teach, because, well, partially this is Dharma, because conduct is part of Dharma practice and Dharma teaching. But so in that sense, conduct is, of course, part of my teaching, as it is part of every Dharma teacher's teaching. But in the light of current events of the last 10 years in EU, you know, it's a very serious situation. And I'm about to read you a longer Facebook post of mine that I published on 10th of June, so 4 days ago, where I kind of express my initial thoughts about these current events and my motivation to speak openly of these things from the perspective of Dharma practice, or the teaching of awakening. I think a good translation for Dharma, like it's understood in Buddhism, is teaching of awakening. And compassion, of course, because compassion is a big part of awakening. But I already know how this opening will be, and my further YouTubes about this matter will be met. because I already saw the comments. I don't think there will be anything surprising in the comments or people's reactions to this. Some people will see it as, duh, that's obvious. Some people will get extremely upset, uh, probably with very loud and noisy comments. And some people will think that, well, this is Dharma teacher shouldn't discuss topics like this. But I'm kind of repeating myself because I'm repeating the same thing in the post that I'm about to read to you. But I think this is a matter of awakened conduct at this point. And simply because what has been going on in EU for the past 10 years since the wide-scale mass illegal immigration started, um, I think that, well, I feel like starting to talk about these matters in this video and in further videos. But I'll continue to reading my Facebook post from 4 days ago, and here it goes. Another act of extreme violence has taken place in Belfast, Northern Ireland today. The man who was being beheaded on the street in broad daylight by a Sudanese Muslim is fighting for his life as we speak. Similar events are now occurring regularly all over Europe. Dharma does not teach politics because it is about adjusting to conditions and responding in the most appropriate manner for the benefit of all. Having said that, I am considering taking an open public stance on this matter. If I or other practitioners who cultivate awakening simply pray and say nothing about the atrocities taking place in our own countries, neighboring countries, and across our continent, how is that enlightened conduct? I have taught in Ireland many times, and the retreat I taught last weekend in Birmingham, UK, was attended by 3 Irish participants. This constant violence takes place in Europe, takes place in many European countries where my students live, including Finland, where I'm from. Terrorism is real here, and statistics show that the majority of terrorist acts are committed by members of one religion. In 2024, 313 out of 449 terrorist acts were carried out by them in Europe, that is. That is 70% of all terrorist acts. Guru Rinpoche, the Indian enlightened master who brought Tantric Buddhism to Tibet, had Langdharma assassinated because he killed Dharma practitioners and destroyed places of practice. That was Guru Rinpoche's action, his conduct, and his conscious decision to stop undharmic violence, deaths, and the accumulation of very negative karma. I repeat, the most celebrated master of Tibetan Buddhism or Vajrayana Buddhism, Tantric Buddhism, approved on assassination, which was carried out by one of his close disciples. And this disciple, by the way, attained the highest spiritual attainment called light body or rainbow body. I do not subscribe to any single political stance and have never belonged to any political party. I do not intend to promote any particular political orientation, as I do not subscribe to one myself. I also do not think Dharma teachers should proselytize political views, even if they hold strong personal opinions. For a decade now, we have constantly heard news about planned acts of violence in all forms, where the victims are often, not often, always really, native Europeans, men, women, and children. Such events occurred prior to large scale illegal immigration in 2015 as well, but not nearly on this scale. Now we hear of these horrible events day in and day out. People are beaten, stabbed, raped, murdered, and mass murdered on a wide scale, and these acts are committed by members of a certain religion and or individuals from countries where this religion is practiced. What would Guru Rinpoche do? What do I feel like doing about it? How do I think my perspective could help or offer something new to the discussion? If nothing else, perhaps to point out what is right and what is wrong. Violence is wrong. Intolerance of other people's lifestyles, cultures, or religions is wrong. It is also wrong to tolerate intolerance. It is wrong to allow abuse and violence. It is unskillful not to respond appropriately to obvious wrongdoing. Surprisingly, many people, including many spiritual practitioners, are very confused about such common sense moral questions. They are confused and conflicted because of their fixed views, which are, without exception, a root cause of confusion and samsaric existence. There is such a thing as enlightened conduct or appropriate responses to any situation, and therefore there are also inappropriate responses. I do not think remaining silent about what is happening around us or avoiding speaking openly out of fear of cancellation is an appropriate response. I have avoided speaking publicly about this because some people still either deny the facts or choose not to accept what is happening in Europe. They are quick to judge and attack those who express different views, thereby challenging their own. I was cancelled a decade ago by Western Buddhists for constructively questioning their gurus and practices. For 8 years, they continued to attack me, so I am well aware of what fixed views, fanaticism, and emotional poisons are capable of. Karma is karma, though. Both action and inaction have consequences. Sometimes the appropriate response is not to act. However, I feel that this matter requires not only a response but a firm stance for as long as the problem continues to exist. So, this was my Facebook post from a few days ago. You can find it from my Facebook profile if you want to check it out or read it again, hear it again. And yeah, I wanted to make this YouTube as an introduction to, like I already said, to my posts that come later. And I specifically wanted to make this YouTube because an online friend made a very good comment about this and kind of asked me further questions about this matter. So the next video will probably be the one where I respond to him. Okay, so bit different tone, isn't it? But I just feel that enough is enough and something needs to be done about this. And I think that also spiritual practitioners, we are tested in so many ways. And while at the same time, one of the core principles of Dharma practice is non-violence. But this, if we remain passive in the middle of these very intolerant and violent acts towards the European culture and European people, to remain passive and not do anything, that's wrong also. And there will be karma, karma that accumulates from this passivity as well. Anyway, uh, good to see you again. Please like, subscribe my channel if you enjoy the content here. Share videos in social media if you think that it's useful for others. And thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, cheers, bye.